So Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo decided that today he's not going to be chasing native doctors that are preparing okite for fraudsters and Yahoo boys, but he decided to do something special. He decided to inspect the civil servants at the Civil Service Commission, Anambra State Civil Service, and what he discovered shocked him. Maybe some of the civil servants there were even worse than the native doctors preparing charms, empowering youth Anambra used to commit fraud.
They have not got into the office. What you do is to turn those chairs down. That's part of the shipping out that will have to go. Those who haven't come, we're going to shut them off for the remainder of this year. And they will have to go. They'll have to go. If by 10 in the morning, they're not yet shown off for work, they're supposed to be a civil servant, then it means they wouldn't need.
So the governor said if by after 10 a.m. in the morning this civil servant didn't show up, it means they will have to go. So he started inspecting office by office and counting the numbers of staffs that were present at the time after 10 a.m. in the morning. And what he discovered was even more shocking.
Where's the pamphlet?
So there are supposed to be 4 of you here, but only 2 of you are here. Who are the ones here now? You?
I'm here.
Where are you? Huh? You are here? Who is there? Nobody is. Okay, you are here. Somebody is here. And so in this whole place, there are supposed to be 4 of you, but there are 2.
Yeah.
There are supposed to be 4, but there are 2.
There are 2.
I want you to be not in there because those 2 that are not here, we're going to suspend them for the next 6 months. Those who have not come for work, by this time they can go. We don't need them.
We don't need them is what the governor said. Those who have not reported to work as at the time he was there, he doesn't need them. And some of them will be suspended for the rest of the year. Some will be suspended for 1 month or 2 months.
First of all, I commend all the conscientious and hardworking staff who've shown up well on their desks and working hard for the good of Anambra. The bad and the ugly is that actually there are quite a significant number of people who, as at 10 o'clock, have not shown up for work. And once we came in, I asked that the gate be locked to the Secretariat. And we've been told several. I walked in office by office. And then you'll be told, oh, this one is been locked out. Which means the person is coming to office past 10 o'clock in the morning. And that's unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And before long, the person will also leave. And so, if you come by 10 o'clock, that's already 2 hours now of the 8 hours or so that you are supposed to put in for the day. Isn't it? Yeah. 2 hours already gone. Now, and some might even come after the time. I'm sure even by 11, some will still be struggling in. So if you 30% of the day, you don't work 30% of the day, 40% of the day. God knows even how many times in a week the person shows up. But he expects to be paid fully at the end of the month. We can't have a service that way. And we're going to be very, very intentional about having an agile, effective, and efficient civil service. And those who desire to be there, they're welcome. You know, like I said, tribute to the many who are conscientious and hardworking, but also the bad eggs who will not come to work early and who will not give in their service as required will be shipped out because Anambra cannot afford, we're an A state and we cannot afford a Z civil service. It's just unacceptable, and we're going to take very fine measures. For those of you who are coming to work 2 hours plus after it's supposed to have started. Well, the person has to make up if it's coming from our nation and has to be and is not here by 8, then he should leave. Then it's not working for us. And not say where he's coming from. It's the person's choice. Why do you need to take a civil service job if you cannot operate there? What's your nation? What an excuse. That's just what I just said a moment ago. Yes, sir. When I worked in Lagos, when I graduated, I woke up 3 hours to the time I was supposed to go to work.
So the gate of the civil service was locked. These are the numbers of staffs that came late. Possibly their colleagues called them over on the phone so that for them to report to work that the governor is on ground. But when they got to the gate, they were locked out. It's unfortunate. So Professor Charles Soludo took his time to inspect the offices, and unfortunately, many of them were not on seat. So if Professor Charles Soludo had inspected these offices on Monday, they would say he's sit at home. But he chose Thursday. In fact, if he had done this supervision on Friday, he wouldn't see anybody. Said 9 people are supposed to be in this office, but they found only 2.
They're supposed to be 9, 2, 3, 4.
What about here? There's nobody. There's nobody here. I mean, I'm talking about after 10 in the morning. After 10 in the morning, and they're not yet on seat. 4 of them not yet on seat. Let's go. What are the other 3? They have not got into the office.
So it's unfortunate for some of these staff
to turn those chairs down. That's part of the shipping out that will have to go.
So they are going to be suspended. Some will be sacked for not showing up to work at 10 a.m. It's unfortunate for them, but now he has actually waking up civil servants across the nation. Some of them will report to work tomorrow. In fact, even in Abuja here, some federal civil servants don't even show up to work. If you go there on Thursdays and on Friday, you won't see anybody. So Professor Charles Soludo did what only a professor could do. If he had decided to visit on Monday, I mean, Mondays are always filled up, but you never know. Some of these civil service, commission, civil servants, most of them do it turn by turn. You sign in for me, take attendance for me, then tomorrow I will do for you. You can't blame them anyway when their payout, monthly allowance is not enough to sustain the family. So some of them have other jobs they are doing. But I think the governor should reconsider them. If it is suspension or query, that will be fine. Sacking them will not be a good idea. Even these ones now that are with him, following him around, for this inspection, one way or the other, they were victims of this same thing. I don't want, even governor himself, he said he started work the moment he graduated. I know there were times too that he didn't show up to work late. There is nobody that will come out and tell us and tell me now that all his life as a civil servant, there has never been any day he showed up to work late. It's so unfortunate, but it's to make the workforce, to strengthen the workforce, so that these workers, civil servants, will take their job seriously. Considering the cost of transportation, you look at these civil servants, you look at their salaries, maybe some of them, you look at these offices, they're earning 250,000, maybe some of them 300,000. He made mention of someone coming from Onitsha to the office. So if such a person is transporting himself or herself to the office every day, how much will be left at the end of the day? So it's so unfortunate that some of them were not on seat as the governor inspected the civil service. And also, it was an unscheduled visit. So other civil servants across the nation should be mindful of this. I think, is it the governor of Abia State that had done something like that? the governor of Ekiti State, and some other governor, they have done such unscheduled visit before. And what they saw was awful. But there is no way this will stop workers across the nation, civil servants across the nation, from still showing up to work late. Some of them will continue to show up to work late. So it's just what it is. For me, the governor did what he needed to do as a governor, but he needs to also create an environment where these workers are helped. Maybe you provide buses that will be transporting these workers to their various homes. If there is staff bus, I don't think there will be an issue of staffs not showing up to work. Most of them might not even that they didn't come to work on time. Some of them are not coming. Let's say 80 to 90% of the people that didn't show up to work as at 10 a.m., they are not coming at all. They have their colleagues. These ones that were fortunate to be in the office today, maybe on Wednesday they didn't show up, on Tuesday they didn't show up. They had the ones that are not available today, represent them or stand for them. So that's what happens. So Professor Charles Soludo has spoken. Do you think his decision is right? Because if you had him there, he said that if they can't show up to work as early as 10 a.m., then we don't need them. Some of them will be suspended. Some of them will be pushed out. It's not the best of decisions. For me, suspension, query, or whatever, maybe without pay. If you don't pay them for the month, that will be good. But sacking them is not ideal.